Okay, so in this video we're going to look at dividing with proper and mixed number fractions. Okay, when we're dividing fractions, there's just one more little step that we need to learn, and this is called finding the reciprocal. This is what I mean. Here we have 2/5 being divided by 3/8. What we need to do is invert this last fraction, or the second fraction. Here we have 3/8, but we need to rewrite this question and invert the 3/8, which means to put the 8 on top and the 3 on the bottom, and we need to turn our division into a multiplication. So this is what I mean. We'll keep the 2/5 at the start the same, and you all must write this sentence out when you're working and show each step. We're going to turn this division into multiplication, and we're going to invert this fraction. Which means 8/3 instead of 3/8. Okay? Basically, 2/5 divided by 3/8 is the same as 2/5 multiplied by 8/3. Then we simply do our multiplication. We can look for any common factors that we can decrease by, and looking at it, 3 has no factors in common with 8 and 2, and 5 has no factors in common with 2 and 8, so we can't really factorise. It's at its lowest forms. We simply multiply. 2 times 8 gives us 16, and 5 times 3 gives us 15. And it's still an improper fraction because the number on the top's bigger, so we need to turn that into our mixed number fraction. 15 into 16 goes once, with 1 left over, so it becomes 1/15. Okay, if you're unsure also of this converting, go back to a video on converting improper fractions to mixed number fractions to practice that. Alright, now we've included a mixed number fraction as well. So as usual, we need to convert this fraction into an improper fraction. We use our time loss strategy again to do that. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So it's 7/3. And we're going to divide by 5/6. Now if you remember what to do from before, we're going to turn our division, so we write the first bit, turn our division into multiplication, and we're going to invert our last fraction. Turn it upside down. Now we can see whether there are numbers in our fractions where we could find common factors, and I'm seeing one straight away. Our 3 and our 6 have common factors. Remember, you only look for the common ones on top and bottom. They have a common factor of 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 3 goes into these numbers easily. 3 goes into 3 once, cross that out, make it 1, and 3 goes into 6 twice. Okay, so now it's going to be simpler numbers to work with. Then we can do our multiplication. We might write it out again so it's clear. I'm going to rewrite these fractions. Seven times 2 is 14. 1 times 5 is 5. Or, so it's not 14/5, is the same as a different mixed number fraction. 5 goes into 14 twice, with 4/5 left over. Alright, our last example here has mixed number fractions. So we need to turn our mixed number fractions into improper fractions. 2 times 1 is 2, add 1 is 3. We're going to turn our divide into multiply, and well, actually we won't do that just yet. Let's turn both fractions into improper fractions. This one needs to be an improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 over 5. Now we can invert it. 3 over 2. We can change that to 5 over 17. And then we need to look for common factors like we did with this question. 2 doesn't really have any common factors with 3 and 5, and 17 doesn't have any common factors with 3 and 5 either, so we have to keep it the same. We've simplified it enough, so we'd finish off our multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15, and 2 times 17, well, we can think of 2 times 16 is 32, so 2 times 17 is 34. Okay, and we can look at this fraction and see whether we can simplify it further by pulling out those factors again. Well, 2 doesn't really go into 15 and 34. It goes into 34 but not 15. 3 doesn't go into 34 but goes into 15. 4 doesn't go into either of them. 5 goes into this one. No, I think we're pretty right to leave it as it is. Okay, so the only thing different with dividing fractions is that we turn our division into a multiplication and we invert, which means turn upside down, that second fraction. Also make sure we're turning our mixed number fractions into improper fractions before we start this process. And remember, we can cancel down by looking for the factors that are common to both the number on the top and the number on the bottom.